$100. That's it. That is the number this entire video is about. Not 1,000, not 10,000, just $100 a month. The price of a few restaurant meals, a couple of streaming subscriptions, a pair of shoes you bought and forgot about. $100 a month that most people spend without even noticing. And here is the part that sounds completely made up until you actually see the math. That same $100 invested every single month without touching it, without thinking about it, without doing anything at all, turns into $500,000. $500,000. From $100 a month. If that sounds wrong to you, good. That feeling is exactly why most people never build wealth. And by the end of this video, that feeling is going to be gone forever. Meet Omar. He is 28 years old, works a normal job, earns a decent salary, and considers himself reasonably smart with money. He does not overspend. He doesn't gamble. He pays his bills on time. But Omar has a belief about investing that is quietly costing him everything. He believes investing is for people with serious money, real money, the kind of money that justifies opening an account and figuring out the whole system. $100 feels too small to matter. So Omar waits. He tells himself he will start when he has more. When things settle down, when he has an appropriate amount to invest. And every month that he waits, something invisible happens. Something that doesn't show up on any bank statement, but costs him more than almost any financial mistake he could make. The problem is not that Omar is wrong about money. The problem is that he is thinking about money the way almost everyone thinks about money. In straight lines. He thinks if he invests $100 a month for 10 years, he will have roughly $12,000. Maybe a little more with some interest. And $12,000 doesn't feel worth the effort. So why bother? This is the straight line trap. And that is the reason most intelligent, responsible people never build real wealth. Because money does not grow in a straight line. It grows in a curve. And the difference between those two shapes is the difference between $12,000 and $500,000. To understand how this actually works, you need to understand one idea, just one. It is called compounding, and it is so simple that most people dismiss it, which is exactly why most people miss it. Here is compounding in its simplest form. You invest $100. It earns a return. Now you have a little more than $100. Next month, that little extra also earns a return. Then the month after that, all of it earns a return, including the returns on the returns. The money starts making its own money. And then that money makes money. And it keeps going. Quietly, automatically, without you doing a single thing. In the early years, it felt like nothing was happening. Month 1, you invest $100. Month 6, you have maybe 600 and something. Month 12, just over 1,200. It feels exactly like the straight line Omar imagined. Boring, unremarkable, not worth the effort. But here is what is actually happening beneath the surface. The foundation is being built. And foundations are invisible until the building begins rising above ground. By year 5, Omar has around $7,000. Still feels small. By year 10, he has around $17,000. Getting better, but still not impressive. By year 15, he has around $35,000. Now things are starting to look interesting. By year 20, he had around $65,000. By year 25, he had around $115,000. And then something strange happens. By year 30, he had over $200,000. By year 35, he has over $350,000. And by year 40, just 40 years of $100 a month, he has crossed $500,000. Look at those numbers carefully. In the first 10 years, he built $17,000. In the last 10 years of that same journey, he built over $300,000. The same $100 a month. The same simple investment. But the returns in the final decade are almost 20 times bigger than the returns in the first decade. This is not a trick. This is not luck. This is what a curve looks like. Slow and flat in the beginning, then steep and extraordinary at the end. The problem is that most people only ever see the flat part. They invest for a few years, see boring numbers, and stop. They never reach the curve. And the curve is where everything actually happens. Now here is the psychological part. And this is where it gets really interesting. Why do so many smart people miss something this powerful? The answer is a concept called present bias. Human brains are wired to value things that are close to us in time more than things that are far away. A reward today feels much more real than a reward 40 years from now. This is not a character flaw, it's just how the brain works. Evolution built us to prioritize the immediate. The deer in front of you matters more than the possibility of a better hunt next season. But this ancient wiring is catastrophic for wealth building. Because wealth building is fundamentally a long game. The reward is not today. It's not next year. It is decades from now. And the brain does not naturally feel the weight of that future reward. This is why $100 a month feels like too little to bother with. The $500,000 it becomes feels abstract and distant. The $100 feels real and spendable right now. So the brain chooses the restaurant meal, the upgraded phone, the slightly nicer version of whatever it was going to buy anyway, not because the person is irresponsible, but because the brain is doing exactly what it was designed to do. Prioritize the present. The key to beating present bias is not willpower. It is automated. Remove the decision entirely. Set up an automatic transfer on the day your salary arrives. Before you can see it, before you can spend it, before your brain can calculate what else it could buy with that money. The moment the decision becomes automatic, present bias has nothing to work with. The money moves before the brain gets involved, and month after month, year after year, the curve keeps building. There is another trap that catches people who actually did start. It is called return anxiety. They invested the $100. The market goes down a little. They panic. They check the account every week. The number goes up, then down, then up again. It feels chaotic and unsafe. So they stopped. They pull the money out. They tell themselves they will reinvest when things are more stable. But here is what they do not realize. The short-term noise is completely irrelevant to the long-term outcome. A diversified investment held for 30 or 40 years has never finished lower than where it started in recorded financial history. The day-to-day movement is just the weather. The long-term direction is the climate. And the climate is upward. The people who build the $500,000 are not smarter than the people who don't. They are simply the ones who stopped watching the weather and trusted the climate. So what does Omar actually need to do? The answer is almost insultingly simple. Step 1. Open an investment account today. Not this week. Not when things settle down. Today, the friction of not having an account is one of the biggest reasons people never start. Remove the friction. Step 2. Set up an automatic monthly transfer of $100 into a simple diversified index fund. Not a complex portfolio. Not individual stocks. Just a broad market index fund that tracks the overall market. Step 3. Don't touch it. Don't check it every day. Don't panic when it goes down. Don't celebrate excessively when it goes up. Just let it run. Step 4. If your income increases, increase the amount. Even going from $100 to $150 a month makes a significant difference over decades. But even if you never increase it, even if it stays at $100 a month for 40 years, the outcome is still extraordinary. Here is the deeper truth that this whole video is really about. The barrier to building wealth is not money. Omar does not need more money. He has $100 a month right now. The barrier is not knowledge. The concept of compounding is not complicated. The barrier is belief. The belief that the amount is too small to matter. The belief that it is too late to start. The belief that the complexity of investing is beyond ordinary people. These beliefs are wrong, and they are expensive. Every month Omar waits, he is not saving $100. He is giving up the compounded future value of that $100, which, depending on where he is in the timeline, could be worth thousands. The most powerful financial decision most people will ever make is not a big investment. It's not a business deal. It's not a lucky stock pick. It is the decision to start small, start now, and let time do what time does better than any strategy ever invented. Omar does not need to wait until he has real money. $100 a month is real money. It just doesn't look like $500,000 yet. But it will. It always does. The only question is whether you are going to be the person who starts today, or the person who spends another year waiting for a better moment that never quite arrives. The clock is already running. The curve is already being built by someone somewhere who started this month with $100 and a simple automatic transfer. The only thing left to decide is whether that person is you.